we will open it up and let you make some comments. So go ahead. Thanks for joining us.
We're excited. Obviously, I'm really excited just about the opportunity that we get to be out there still. So it's been a good few days. Obviously, we got a lot of guys coming back, so we're excited about that, and a lot of talent coming back, a lot of experience coming back. But at the same time, it's been 9 months since we put on pads, so there's a lot to clean up and a lot of room to improve. So that's kind of where we are right now. Like I said, just 3 practices in, and again, got to focus on continuing to improve, because not because we don't have talent or experience, but because, like I said, it's just been a long time since we've practiced and a long time since we've been out there on the field. And obviously throughout the summer and stuff, some of our guys were throwing a good bit, but that's just throwing on air in shorts and a t-shirt. It's a whole lot different than playing the game of football. So again, I think everyone's excited that we're back out there. We're extremely excited that we get the opportunity to play this year, but also know we need to continue to improve and continue to get better every day. And we got a long ways to go. We got 4 weeks to get there though, so we've got a little bit of time, and we're excited about it.
Okay, we'll open it up to questions. Ryan Young, you're first up.
Hey, Graham.
What's happening?
So you have a nice core of veteran receivers again, but what role do you envision for Bru McCoy, Gary Bryant, and what have you seen from them so far?
They've been good when they've been out there, and like I said, we've got a few guys coming back that obviously have played a lot of football, and then we got on that receiving core some young guys that haven't played a ton of football but have a whole lot of talent, and so that's what is exciting. And those guys really got to come along, because we need depth, and you can see that just in the first few days of practice. Like I said, we've got some guys that have played a ton of football and are doing some really good things, and some really good things too when they get their opportunities. And so they just have to keep coming along. Obviously, when it's your first practice or your first live practices in the offense, there's going to be some mistakes and they're going to have some busts. But we've been through our first 3 days of our install, and now we'll just start repeating over and over and over and getting really good at it. And so I think it really benefit those 2 guys and really all the youngsters. So they've been explosive. Gary, we've moved around and he's done a lot of good things. He's a really good few days of practice, and Bru's still working into it. And so, but when he's in there, he's got a different. He's different. He's very explosive. He's hard to cover because not only is he explosive, he's also very strong and big. So he's a fun guy to have, and they're going to have to play big roles for us. So we really need them to, like I said, continue to improve, continue to grow. And the more and more comfortable they get, I think that obviously you'll see less and less hesitation, and they'll become better, better and better every day. And so those 2 have a lot of talent, and I think that they're going to contribute a lot for us.
Can you see a difference in Bru even from the ball practices last year when he was kind of getting back into it?
For sure. He, like I said, he's got more confidence. And like I said, the more practices we get in, I think the more and more confident he's going to play. But, I think he understands the sense of urgency. During the ball practice, he's just kind of working back into it. And now there's an obvious sense of urgency because the season's right around the corner and we need him to contribute. And so I think he understands that. And again, he's doing some really good things. He needs reps, and that's what we're trying to get him right now. But the more reps he gets, the better he's going to be. And he's making some really impressive plays out there right now. Unfortunately, I see it, but he's doing some great things, and he's going to help us.
Okay, we'll go to Ryan Karchi.
Hey, Graham. I know last year you talked a lot about chemistry on the offensive line and how crucial that was for an offense. You have a couple spots you have to replace up front this year. It seems like there's a lot of just general shuffling. How do you feel just generally about that situation at offensive line right now?
I feel really good about where we are at offensive line, especially with AVT coming back. That was really important for us because, one, he's a great football player, and 2, he helps us. He's played a lot of football. He makes us better at that position. He has depth at that area. But we got to try to find our best 5 and get them out there in whatever order we can. But last year we signed some really good young guys that I think may have to contribute for us this year. But we also have a lot of guys that, again, same as those receivers, have really played a lot of football. If you look at the lineup, even AVT obviously has played quite a bit of ball. Voorhees has been around and played a lot of snaps for a long time. Brent Neilon's played a lot of ball. Last year, Liam Jennings got a decent amount of reps and got some experience. He's doing some good things. Jalen McKenzie. So you gotta, and Dede, you got guys with lots of experience up there. We got to figure out the best 5 and how we can piece them together to give us the best chance. And we're probably going to have to play a combination of a lot of those guys. And then behind them, we have guys that don't have much experience, but are really, really talented. And so, like I said, we signed a great class of O-linemen last year. We got some young ones that are emerging and doing some good things. And so there is some shuffling around that goes up there just to kind of play with the lineup. But that's a good unit. And, for us, if we're good up front, we got a chance to win a whole lot of football games. And so that's really anybody in football these days. But particularly us, that's what we always say. Our success is going to start up front. And with the amount of experience we have coming back and with the talent level of those guys and just as much football as they've played, really, especially if we can stay pretty healthy, I feel really, really great about where we are. And, I think that with that crew, they're going to make it so much better because it's going to be hard to stop us. I mean, because they do a great job of protection, but they also run the ball really well. They allow us to run the ball at a really effective rate. So it's going to make us that much more dynamic and that much more versatile. I think having the experience and having the type of guys we have up there.
And Elijah, if you could take us through your decision just in general to decide to come back for this last season, was that something that was clear right when they decided that it was going to be a fall season, or is that something you had to think about even beyond that?
Well, first off, it took a lot of thought, talking with my family, friends, and coaches. Definitely wasn't something that I thought about as soon as they announced the fall season was returning. But after a lot of thought, I thought, why not come back and compete with my brothers, compete for a Pac-12 championship. And if you really look at it, nothing really changed. The reason why I came back last year was to do the same exact thing. And the only difference between this year is obviously COVID and a late start date. So once I kind of looked at all that, looked at all the pros and cons, I just thought it was a good idea for me to come back and, compete with my brothers.
Hey, Brett, I'll throw one out here for you. Can you kind of pick up on that and what's it like having Elijah back, and also kind of picking up on what Graham was talking about on how the line has looked?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Elijah, you guys know he's a phenomenal player and brings a lot of experience back for us. So, and he's also one of my best friends, so that's huge. For chemistry, we still have 4 guys from the 2017 O-line class that have all played a lot of ball, so I think that helps tremendously. We're all super close. And me, Elijah, Voorhees, and Jalen. And it's great to have him back, and he's a heck of a football player. And then for offensive line, it's been a while since we've had pads on. Yesterday, we're going to make some mistakes and whatnot. And but Graham said, we're just going to keep getting better. And we have a tremendous young talent. The 6 guys that we signed, they're all coming along, and they're going to be very good football players, and definitely could have a chance to contribute this year and do some great things. So I'm really excited. We have a lot of depth. I think we have like almost 20 guys out there. So that helps to get quality reps. Good looks on individual and whatnot. So it's been good.
Okay, we'll go to Adam Grossbard.
Graham, year 2 at USC and in the Pac-12, how do you expect Pac-12 teams to adjust to your offense, having seen it one time through? And when you were at UNT, did you see Conference USA teams adjust in your second year there?
I think it'll be interesting. And that's the crazy thing about what we do. Sometimes we'll go into a game expecting one thing, and then your game plan for one look. I can think of Notre Dame last year. we looked like 6 years back and they hadn't played a snap of 3 down, and then they played 3 down against us every snap. So, you know, you never really know what you're going to see going in. And I think it'll be really interesting to see what teams' plans are against us. And I think that, to be honest with you, though, the teams that have the most success, not against us, just in general, and it's kind of our philosophy offensively, is just to go do what you do and be really good at it, you know. And so I don't think that people will completely go away from who they are. You know, Notre Dame did last year, and in the second half, you know, I think we scored every time we touched it because we adjusted and it wasn't what they do normally. You know what I'm saying? So they were looking for answers. But so I think that most teams, I would imagine, will kind of stay true to who they are and do what they do. But at the same time, we'll be ready for whatever they throw at us. And you know, one of the good things about the defense, or, you know, our defensive staff is they do a little bit of everything. And so hopefully we'll have reps. We'll have reps in all our plays against a bunch of different looks, a bunch of different blitzes, a bunch of different fronts. And we'll be prepared for whatever they throw at us. But I do think it'll be interesting. I don't know if teams will adjust, you know, like I said, if teams will come in with different game plans or how they're going to adjust their game plans based on who they are. But again, the beautiful thing about what we do offensively, and we preach it to our guys all the time, is we're based strictly on execution. And we're going to go out there and we're going to do what we do, and we're going to do it at a really high level. And if we do that, we think we can be successful against anything anyone throws at us. And so that's our mentality, and that's what we're preparing for. So, and as far as at North Texas, I think that at times we did see, you know, teams that, and I don't know if it's the second time through, just especially once Mason, the quarterback, got better, they did do some different things to us, obviously, because we were, you know, like I said, it was going to be tough to solve, especially as he got better in the offense and improved and understood it. He was really effective throwing the football, and with Keaton being a year further along in the system and his talent and the people we have around him, I do think that the teams may try some things that they don't normally try against us. But, you know, kind of like I touched on earlier, if they want to drop everyone off, especially with the experience we have at O-line and running back, I think we're going to run the ball at a really effective rate. And so that's going to put people in binds if we can be that dynamic and that versatile, where no matter what you do, you've got a really talented guy touching the football, and they're going to be in a good position. Because like I said, I think we're going to be able to move people off the ball in the run game, and we're going to protect it at a high level in the pass game. And so when you can do that, and you got talent at the running back and the receiver position, you can put people in real binds. And regardless of what they do, we should be able to move the football. And like I said, put the ball in a really explosive player's hands and let them go play. And so, again, we've got to improve, but I'm excited about the talent we have, the experience we have, and the opportunity we have coming up.
Okay, let's go to shotgun.
Hey, Graham, how do you go about seeing the best offensive line? What are you kind of looking for in that best five group to figure out who matches up well with each other as well?
Well, I think that you know, both these guys on the call can probably tell you that chemistry is as important as anything, and getting reps with the guy next to you, because you know it's five separate individuals, but they especially depending on what the play is or the protection is and who they're working with. A lot of times you're working with another guy, so you got to be able to play as one. And so the chemistry up there is going to be really important, and just getting reps with each other and understanding where the guy next to you is going to be. I mean, all those things play a huge role in how the five shake out, and we just got to find where each guy's best. And you know, some guys play better at tackle, some guys play better at guard, and we got to figure that out during this time. You know what I mean? And so we got to find where we can get the best five on the field that play the best together, and that's what we're trying to do. But at the same time, I think as the offensive line position, there's going to be times where you have to play more than five guys. You know what I mean? And so we've also got to mix up who we're putting in there right now, because we've got to get reps at different combinations, whether it be from injury or someone gets tired or whatever the case may be. We got to prepare to have different guys in, different lineups out there, guys in different positions, and still be able to execute at a really high level. And so that's kind of what we're doing right now. Obviously, we want to get reps and get it with with the guys that we think are going to be the 5 that play the most together. We got to figure out who those 5 are and give those guys a lot of reps together. But we also, like I said, have to mix it up and get different guys reps at different positions so that we can just get used to playing next to different people, and again, I never played offensive line, so Brett and AVT can probably answer that more than I can. But the more reps you have with the guy with the same guy next to you, the better you're going to be. And when you put a new guy in there, I think there's a learning curve that you have to adjust to. So we're trying to get reps of that.
With when you go to make that decision, do you make that final call? Do you kind of leave it to Drevno? And how much do you rely on a guy like Brett who's in there beside everyone?
We rely a lot on Brett Brett has a lot of responsibility on his plate. I would say the center and the quarterback in this offense, they got tall task out there. And so Brett has to do a lot, or that center in general has to do a whole lot of things to try to get those 5. Like I said, when you're trying to get 5 guys to kind of play as one, and when you're doing that, you got to have one guy that can get everyone on the same page and make sure we're all pulling the rope in the same direction. That's Brett's job. And so on the field, Brett has a ton of responsibility, and the fact that he has as many reps as he has and he's as smart as he is really helps that calls. He has a huge role for us this year. But as far as making the decision on who's the best 5 and what that looks like, that's why we have 4 weeks of training camp, and really it comes down kind of as an offensive staff as a whole to sit there and evaluate when, mix up the lineups, and Drev has total control of what 5 guys are in there at a time. And so he mixes it up, he shuffles the deck, and then we have to, sit down and unbiasedly evaluate the film as a staff, and then make a decision as an offensive staff as to, who makes us the best team.
Let me ask the players to follow up on that, Brett and Elijah. What's it like playing in a Graham Harrell offense? And maybe even now that you're in year 2, has it gotten easier, or any changes you've seen?
Yeah, I could kind of answer that real quick. Obviously we have a lot of experience coming back from last year. Obviously King Silvis and a lot of receivers as well as the O-line. So year two should be really fun. We've been in this offense for quite a while, and obviously we didn't have a spring ball. We were working really hard over the summer, getting down the plays, reevaluating them, and working on our technique and stuff like that. So yeah, overall, it's just really, really fun this year.
Brett, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I think he hit it on the head, and I think things will kind of slow down for us, during games, certain looks that we've seen before and whatnot. So it's exciting.
Okay, we'll go to Antonio.
Graham, with Pittman gone, is Drake London someone you expect to get more reps on the outside this year, or is that a matchup you guys like in the slot?
Absolutely. I think that Drake London is as talented of a player as I've been around, to combine the size that he has with his body control and stuff like that, and his ball skills, his toughness. I think that he creates natural matchup problems for people. I think, like a lot of those elite tight ends in the NFL, I think he's a similar matchup issue, because if you put someone small on him, he can manhandle them and he's just bigger. And if you put someone big on him, he's too athletic. And so, I think if you look down those last, 3 or 4 games of the season last year, Drake may have had as many yards as anyone, and did a lot of great things for us. And so, he's a guy that is going to have to play a whole lot of snaps. And I think he knows that. And he's going to have to, if we want to be if we want to win at the level that we think we're capable of winning at this year, he's going to play a large role in that. And so, you got Amon-Ra, you got Tyler, who have been around here for a long time and made a whole lot of plays. And Drake's kind of the youngster, but Drake also, like I said, he has a different skill set than those guys. And so, I think that, like I said, last year down the stretch, if you look, Drake got a whole lot of reps and made a whole lot of plays for us, and he's going to be a key part of what we do. And he's going to have to elevate his game to an even higher level. And you know, you don't really sit there and say, hey, we got to figure out how to replace Michael Pittman, because everybody's different. And Michael Pittman did a lot of great things for us last year, but Michael Pittman's no longer here. And so we just got to figure out how to use the guys we have. And like I said, with Almonraw and Tyler coming back, guys that have been around a long time and have a whole lot of experience and have made a lot of plays for a long time, you feel really good about, you know, what those two have done and where they are. But again, towards the end of the season, Drake really emerged, and coming into this season, I think that he'll be playing with a whole different level of confidence because of the experience he has. And his role in this offense is going to be vital. Like I said, especially for us to be as successful as we need to be, he's going to play a large role in that.
Brett, I know you touched on it a bit earlier, but can you give us some more kind of a first impression of, you know, the young guys that have come up recently?
Yeah, no doubt. You know, the first thing that stands out is their size. Very big group, very long group. Like Casey, super long arms, very tall. Same with Andreas, very tall, very big. Cortland. I mean, you go down the list, they're big guys. And they're actually grasping, you know, the offense and really well so far. And I think they're doing good things, and I think they're going to be very special, and some of them are going to have to contribute for sure. You know, they're a great group of guys, super hardworking. They mesh well into the team. So it's a exciting future for all of them, and I think you'll probably see a few of them this year, and it's going to be good stuff.
Let's jump to Mark Culkin.
Great. Good morning, guys. Hey, obviously you've been watching these games over these last few weeks as you guys are going to now starting to prepare. Your impressions on the offense explosion that we're watching, and how much is the tempo playing a part in this? And are you guys looking to increase your tempo this year? And also, do you guys get to tell coach, hey, we need to pick it up when we're in the games, we can keep going faster? Long question, sorry about that.
Yeah, I can answer that. I think obviously being this offense, like I said, year two, we always going to be, you know, really fast and physical. That's our mindset. We like to compete. So I think any time we could, you know, keep the ball moving fast down the field, I think is very vital for our offense. So the faster the better, really. Really just want to, you know, catch the defense slipping, catch them on their toes and stuff like that. And in terms of telling the coach, you know, we need to go faster. I think, you know, coaches like to hear the players, hear what they have to say. I mean, after all, we are the ones on the field, even though they are looking from above. But I mean, yeah, I think the coaches like to hear what we say, like to hear what we have to say. And yeah.
Okay, we'll go to Eric McKinney next. We might not have time to get to everybody who's raised their hand, so we've got about 2-3 minutes left.
Graham, going back to Drake London a little bit, it seemed like last year there was kind of an interesting dynamic between tight ends and that big inside receiver and sort of blurring the line there. Where do you look for, I guess, what do you look for in a tight end, and kind of what's your vision kind of for that position going forward in this offense?
Yeah, like you said, I think that the line's been blurred even in the NFL. If you look at the guys, you know, those tight ends that like the Travis Kelce's of the world that are out there making plays, I think, like you said, the line is very blurred between receiver and tight end. And so, you know, a big-bodied receiver could be labeled as a tight end. And you know, I think like a Drake London type, if we ask him to go line up next to that tackle and cut off the defensive end, he could do it just fine. And I think that if anyone asked him that, he could do it just fine. And so, you know, I think that in what we do and what football in general is turning to, because like the last question, if you look at like the offensive explosion, that's not just in college. I think in the NFL, there's more points been scored than ever before. And a lot of that is because people are trying to spread it out and they're trying to score more points, just to be honest. You know what I mean? Like back in the day, they were trying to control the ball and and win in low scoring games. And now people are trying to score points, and that tight end position, that hybrid position, I think has been a large part of that. And so I think that what we're really looking for is someone that can stretch the field and can be a big matchup issue in the pass game, but is big enough and has enough body weight to go in there when we need him to and help in the run game. And so that's the ideal of it, you know what I mean? And I think that like I said, Drake's not labeled as a tight end, and I mean he's a receiver. But if we ever asked Drake to go in there and cut off the defensive end, he'd be just fine doing it. You know what I mean? And he has enough body weight and strength to do that. And so that's really the kind of body type and what we're looking for. And I think that we have some really good tight ends on the roster. Jude, who was a freshman last year, is doing some good things. He's big, he's strong, he's physical, and that's what you're looking for. And so in recruiting, it's the same thing. We want someone that can go out there and can run and catch the ball and create matchup issues in the passing game. But still physical enough and not scared to go put their face on someone and can add the extra, can add an extra gap or add an extra element in the run game as well.
Okay, we're going to have to cut it here. Coach has a meeting to get off to, and the players have got classes. So we thank you, Graham and Brett and Elijah, for joining us, and media, thank you. We'll put this recording up on our media center this morning. Reminder, tomorrow we have another meeting or presser at 8 a.m. with Coach Orlando and a couple of defensive players. We look forward to seeing you then. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.